Hey Gemini, it's Zahara Stars with Illum Astrology doing your July 2018 astro weather forecast. I hope you guys are doing awesome. July is a really big month for everyone, for all of us. As a matter of fact, 2018 is an enormous year for all of us. We're now entering retrograde mania, retrograde season, eclipse season, and then also this year, starting in January, we had the major transformative energy of the Pluto-Jupiter sextile aspect that happened in January. And then we just had one, and we're going to have another one in September. And that speaks of major life transformations. So this year in general is a year of transformation. Now that we're moving into retrograde season and we're also eclipse season, we're looking at even more transformation. So a lot is going to change. A lot of positive things are going to open up. New opportunities, letting go of old ways, opening up to new ideas, whether it be love, business, just life in general. There's going to be a lot of transformations happening. So let's get started. We currently have Mars retrograde. And that doesn't happen but every 2 years. It's a really big deal. I look at Mars retrograde as the art of war. Mars direct is all about our actions, our confidence, and our willpower to drive and push forward to obtain our goals. So Mars can sometimes be thoughtless in our actions. It's kind of our instinctual behavior as far as when it comes to something that we want, how we go about getting it. So you can look to see what sign your Mars is in. Everybody has their Mars in a different sign. So not everybody approaches their wants and desires in the same way. Mars rules over our action, our courage, our willpower to follow through, along with our sexual styles and stuff like that. Mars is really just our drive and ambition. So when Mars is retrograde, we tend to be more introspective. Now, sometimes people can get more frustrated, find blockages. Anytime planets are in retrograde motion, we can come across blockages, slowdowns, because even though the planet's not literally moving backwards, it's an optical illusion, but it does have its effect here on Earth with us mere humans. And what it does is it asks us to review and be more caution with our steps. So it's an excellent time for planning. Whatever goals you guys have, Geminis, whatever it is you want to achieve in your life, just know you can do it. You have everything it takes to make whatever you want happen. And the reason why Mars is so important in manifestation is because it's all about taking action and being courageous. When you are courageous and you're taking action in your steps and you have confidence in yourself, a lot of things can get done. Miracles can happen. So Mars is very important, a very important planet in astrology. And when it's in retrograde motion, it's asking you, look how much further you can get on obtaining your goals. If you were to make a plan, just make a plan. Because sometimes when Mars is direct, we can run into walls. We didn't really plan things out. We're just instinctually acting. And if we actually slow down a little bit, and make a game plan, write it down realistically in terms of what it is that we want to accomplish, then when Mars turns direct, you'll be amazed at what you can do. So Mars retrograde is about strategic planning. In general, Mars retrograde is about also going back into the past, reviewing things, revisiting them to see if you can have a better outcome. Now, this goes for all retrograde planets, and we currently have Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Jupiter's retrograde until the 10th of this month, and Jupiter's going to go direct, thank goodness, and I'm so excited about that. I know you guys are going to be too, because Jupiter is a planet of luck and abundance, and we don't really have to do much to receive the gifts from Jupiter, unlike Saturn, where it requires hard work, and Saturn's all about blockages and restrictions and boundaries and limitations. And that's one of the planets that we need to really overcome. The planets affect us on a subconscious level. So sometimes when we're experiencing a transit, we don't realize that subconsciously we are feeling the effects and therefore being more negative, feeling restricted, blocking ourselves even sometimes. And sometimes it does come from outer circumstances, especially with Saturn. And Saturn has been retrograde since April 17th, and it's in your 8th house of other people's resources, other people's money, taxes, credit cards, loans, other people's values versus your values, how you value yourself and how others value you. You'll be setting up boundaries. You'll be seeing behind the scenes, realizing a lot of things with Saturn in your 8th house, because Saturn's about refinement. He's about bettering and making things better through being a judgmental, through blocking sometimes, and through suppressing, and also through refining through that process, okay? So Saturn rules the 10th house of recognition, legacy, and career. So you got to trust in Saturn, even though he's difficult. He's the stern, strict father of the zodiac, the one that says, no, you can't do that. No, you're not good enough. Are you really being your best? And some people don't respond very well to that negativity. And other people say, you know what? I'm going to prove you wrong. So you find out where you stand with Saturn and that blockages, restrictions, and seriousness. Now, a lot of people can get married with Saturn in their 8th house of their partner, because the 8th house is all about other people. And Saturn makes you more serious, more committed. We tend to take on a different view of sex even. Sex becomes more serious. For those that have been players or preferred to be players in the past, once Saturn gets into your 8th house, you may change your perspective. You may want a more serious commitment. Saturn's about seriousness, doing the right thing, convention, okay? Uranus is the opposite of Saturn, about breaking convention, being unique, being yourself, no boundaries, no limitations. And in mythology, Uranus is Saturn's father. So wherever Uranus is transiting, you're going to see that you want to break free, try different things. You're going to feel limitless. You're going to feel like you want to be unique, authentic in your own way. Wherever Saturn's transiting, you're going to feel some constriction, seriousness, convention. So Saturn is retrograde until it goes direct on September 6th. This month, Jupiter is going to move in direct motion on the 10th in the sign of Scorpio, and it's going to turn direct at 21 degrees Scorpio. Now, these are general readings, so it's going to be different for all of you. What some people are experiencing in the beginning of the year, others are going to experience later in the year. And that's because you guys are all born at different times and all your planets are in different houses. So I always suggest that you listen to your sun and ascendant sign both. Both of them are going to show you where the transits are occurring for you, in what house, and how it's going to affect you. So definitely always listen to both your sun and your ascendant sign. Now, Jupiter has been retrograde in Scorpio, which slows down the abundant process. Okay, we're kind of reviewing our belief systems. Things are slowing down in terms of our benefits coming to us. We may not feel like things are coming so easy to us while Jupiter is in retrograde motion. But on the 10th, things are going to change and feel quite a bit different. Okay, and for you guys, this is going to be in your 6th house of health, fitness, and wellness. Now, it's not only health, fitness, and wellness, it's the house of Virgo, refinement, perfectioning, organizing, cleaning, the day-to-day routine, service, along with working out, eating right, all that stuff. Also along with coworkers and people that work with you on the same level as you. So Jupiter there can bring abundance and luck in these areas. Meaning if you wanted to start a new workout plan, you'll see some big results. If you want to change your diet, you'll see some big results. You'll also be able to get along better with coworkers and the people that you work with. If you want to start becoming more of a perfectionist, neatness, organization, throwing things out, clearing out the clutter, that's what Jupiter is all about, and he brings luck and fortune in that area. For those of you that are looking for a job, you will find a job. Now, it's not going to be the highest paying job, such as with the 10th house. The 10th house is about prestige in your career. The 6th house is more about daily activity, daily, more lower jobs, but it will get you a job. It will bring about a job. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to be a good job. It just means it's not going to be the top of the tier job that the 10th house would provide if Jupiter were transiting there. Excuse me, but my throat has been bothering me, and I'm trying to get all these out. So excuse me as I clear my throat. Anyhow, moving on. There's a lot of big things happening in terms of starting on the 10th with Jupiter's direct motion. And then on the 12th, there's going to be a new moon, but this is a very special new moon. It's going to include a partial solar eclipse. And this partial solar eclipse is going to be opposed by Pluto, the planet of power, upheaval, digging deep, exposing secrets, exposing truths. So it's a really heavy duty planet. And when it's opposing this partial eclipse in the sign of Cancer, which is in your guys' second house of money, you're going to be seeing big changes occurring in the house of earned income. This is also about the things that you own and what you acquire. The money you make from your job. So having a new moon here in a partial solar eclipse, some of you could change the way that you make money. Some of you can get a raise. Some of you could choose to leave your job because you want to do something else and make more money. Pluto is about transformation. So something can totally transform in the way that you make your money. In some cases, an emergency can pop up. This is not always the case, and it's rarely the case. But in some cases, if you are attached to somebody else that's not been treating you right with regards to money, or there's power struggles about it, this could be the best time to let go of that and find a new outlet for you to earn income. If you have an overpowering boss who's not paying you fairly, things like that. But otherwise, this partial solar eclipse in your second house, along with the new moons are endings and beginnings, and partials, and the solar eclipse is endings and beginnings as well. So something's going to end and new opportunities are going to begin. But what really happens is a lot of energy starts going into this house of how you make your money, the money you make, how you value yourself, what do you value your self-worth? You're going to start thinking about that. If you're not making enough money for the work you've been putting in, you're going to notice this. You're going to recognize this, and you're going to want more. Whatever your situation is, there's going to be a big focus on money for you guys after the 12th with this new moon and partial solar eclipse. Now, the really positive side to this is on the same day, there's a grand trine between Saturn, Uranus, and Venus. Saturn is about the 10th house of recognition, legacy, career. Uranus is all about change, transformation, sudden things coming out of nowhere. And Venus is about love, abundance, money, beauty, all that stuff. This grand trine is a very fortunate aspect. And for you guys, when Venus moves into Virgo on the 9th, it's going to be moving into your 4th house of home. So this means all your home benefits are going to start coming. You guys are going to start improving your home. Those of you looking to move, you're going to have a lot of luck in finding a place. Those of you that want to improve your home, you'll be able to buy stuff for your home. You may even receive home furnishings gifts. Venus is a benefactor just like Jupiter, meaning you don't have to do much to get the benefits. The benefits just come. So you'll start seeing improvements within the home environment while Venus is transiting in Virgo. Now, Venus is going to be in Virgo in your 4th house of home, and it's going to be trining Saturn in your 8th house of other people's money. And then it's going to also be trining Uranus, which has to do with in your 12th house. Uranus has moved into Taurus into your 12th house of hidden things, the metaphysical things, hospitals, isolation, dreams, all that stuff. So this is something that can be unexpected from behind the scenes. This can be angel help. This can be spiritual help. Your guides coming to help you. Suddenly on this day, you can receive a benefit financially because it's in your 8th house of other people's money from behind the scenes or from an unexpected source. So that's really positive. Now there's also a total lunar eclipse that's going to happen as well in the sign of Aquarius. And for you guys, this is in your 9th house, and it's a lunar eclipse blood moon again, and it's happening on July 27th. So this is going to be big too because it's a full moon lunar eclipse in Aquarius in your 9th house of higher learning, education, expansion, anything that has to do with expanding your horizons. Also with travel, it's Jupiter's house of luck, abundance, faith, your belief systems, your philosophy, all of that stuff. There's going to be a lunar eclipse there. So some of you might be researching the metaphysical sciences, might be researching instant manifestation, doing more research into astrology, tarot, religion. You really want to seek and learn. You want to expand your learning, expand your higher learning, expand your mind. So some of you could be going back to school. Some of you could be graduating, for those of you that this applies to, from school. Some of you might even join or take a new class, a new course on something. This is a big deal because this is an eclipse happening in this house. So some of you could be finishing school and graduating, and some of you could be beginning and starting. Now, if you're not doing either of those, you could start traveling more. You might have an opportunity to travel. Some of you are going to be rethinking your belief systems. Some of you are going to be just exploring a lot of stuff, researching a lot after that, after the total lunar eclipse on the 27th. In Aquarius. So there's a lot of transformation, eclipses, endings, beginnings occurring. All this month, there's a lot going on, okay? And then on top of that, we're going to have Mercury turn retrograde. Now, we currently already have Jupiter until the 10th, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, and Mars retrograde. So this is a lot of reassessing, a lot of going back, a lot of rethinking. Things don't really start moving forward until all the planets start moving forward, but there's a lot of reassessing and a lot can be done. And we should be really grateful for retrogrades because they're like a second chance to make things better. However, when Mercury turns retrograde on the 26th, it's going to be in the sign of Leo, and Mercury always comes with its typical technological problems, issues, stuff like that can happen. But it's going to be in your third house, which might increase this a little bit more because the third house is all about technology, communication, cars, getting information to and from. Okay, it also has to do with your local neighborhood and with siblings. So Mercury retrograde in its own ruling house can sometimes cause a little more technological issues, okay? Some of you might be rethinking about buying a new car, renewing a lease, all of that stuff. It's often advised not to buy a new car, but I don't actually feel the same way about that. I have bought a couple of cars during Mercury retrograde that I was very happy with and I had no problems with. But it could also be because I have Jupiter in my third house. So, you know, I don't know necessarily, but it's said not to just because you're not thinking so clear at first. Now, this isn't necessarily true because we are more introspective when the planets are retrograde. That's why a lot of websites go down because people are redoing them. It's all about re. So we feel frustrated, like we try to log into our bank account and the site's down and they're doing repairs and they're updating. And all this happens during Mercury retrograde. So I don't think it's that we're not thinking clearly. We definitely are rethinking and redoing. So we can often make really big changes and positive things. So buying technology and cars, I'm not going to say that you shouldn't do it. But it's something you should just pay attention to and make sure that you are seeing things, paying attention to it. I find often that retrogrades can help you find good deals as well because things tend to slow down and companies tend to offer sales and deals more often. That's up to you, whether or not you want to do it, but technological errors are possible. You might be focused on those of you that are writers or have a website or work for yourself. You might be getting clients from the past back. You might be reviewing your website and wanting to redo it during this retrograde. All this isn't happening until the 26th when Mercury turns retrograde, but it's going to be a big focus. Going back and visiting, you might run into neighbors that you haven't seen in a while. You might spend more time with your siblings and all of that. Like I said, on the 9th, Venus is going to change signs from your third house into your fourth house. So you're going to get all the benefits at home. You might want to improve your home, buy new things for home, good relations with family. All of that stuff is really positive. You're going to see a lot of benefits coming to the home. Those of you working in real estate or mortgage or anything like that, any home business type of, even home business, you'll see increase in clients and benefits coming from there. So that's really positive as well. The other things are that, let's see, Jupiter goes direct on the 10th. On the 11th, Venus in Virgo is going to trine Uranus and Taurus, and this is between your 12th house and your 4th house of home. So again, things can come from places least expected, benefits. The trines are lucky, so you can see something fortunate happening for you on the 11th, on the 14th, and on the 22nd. And yeah, so the 11th, the 14th, the 22nd, well, definitely for sure on the 12th, definitely from the 10th when Jupiter turns direct, the 12th, the 11th, the 14th, and the 22nd, because we're going to have really awesome aspects with Venus in Virgo. It's going to be in trine Uranus on the 11th. It's going to trine Saturn and Capricorn on the 14th. and Venus in Virgo is going to sextile Jupiter in Scorpio on the 22nd. So these are all coming home benefits for you because Venus will be transiting in your 4th house, and it's going to be making some really nice trines to the outer planets. And this is really, 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 really good. Also, because the trine will be also to your 6th house of health, fitness, wellness, and all that stuff, some of you guys can, along with the daily chores and routines and stuff like that, these are positive days for all of that stuff. Now, you're going to have Jupiter in your 6th house all the way up until it actually changes signs, which won't be till later this year. So you're going to have benefits in that area anyway. So the other and last but not least is that there's going to be a full moon in Aquarius on the 27th. And this full moon is going to be a lovely full moon, and it's also going to be in your 9th house of higher learning, travel, higher education, philosophy, and all that. So some of you could get news of graduation, of something, accomplishment that you'd made at school or in learning. Some of you can have an illumination about a new belief system or, a new belief in yourself. The 9th house, again, is all about Jupiter, expansion, belief, faith in yourself, faith in everything, faith, learning, and rebuilding your faith. So there's a lot going on there for you guys. It looks like a really awesome month for you guys. I'm really happy to deliver this message to you. I hope you guys have a fabulous July 2018. If you found this helpful, please do give this a thumbs up. Feel free to leave your comments. I love to hear from you guys, as always. If you'd like your own personal astrology reading, which can be really beneficial because when it's personalized to you, date on your due to your birth time and location, they can be really helpful in planning for the next year. You can visit my site at www.illumastrology.com if you didn't find me on my site already. If you did, hey guys, I love you. Thank you so much. And I'm wishing you the best. I'll see you guys in August.